If you missed the Marx Max Muscle Invitational, go check it out. This is your winner. This is your champion, Austin Rivera. And I guess I'm giving away the results, but hey, don't I do that when I announce the winners of these pro shows for the IFBB? But anyway, it has great rewatch value. Definitely great rewatch value. So, Austin Rivera, I have an announcement to make to you and to all of my Marx Max Muscle viewers. Little bit of a disappointment to some of you guys, but in the grand scheme of things, I believe it is the right move. Austin Rivera is a one-time Invitational Champion, and that's how it will remain. You can win my competition, but once. So anyway, little bit of a bomb to be dropped on you guys. Today, we're going to do a comparison between myself, Marx Max Muscle, and the Marx Max Muscle Champion. Why did I not compete? Because I was the judge. That's why. It was foolish. I kept putting myself in lesser call-outs because I kept giving myself losses in all of the poses. I just cannot judge myself. It's foolish. But to judge myself against the winner of the Marx Max Invitational, obviously I can do that if I know I'm set to lose going in. Hey, no different than pro wrestling. Let's go through go through these shots here. Wow. That just goes to show you guys, you gotta look good in all situations, not just the posing, but here and there and everywhere. Did you see how funny I looked there? Little tiny beef jerky legs on Marx Max Muscle. Short, too, genetically speaking, and they're a little slight, especially that right quad. Look at that. Deteriorated to nothing. Like I said, just a little empty piece of beef jerky. Upper body, way too long. That's why I like Nathan D'Asha. I'm built like Nathan D'Asha, except for the muscle, of course. Austin, what a perfect balance, upper, lower body. Of course, if I had to be nitpicky, and I do, I'm a jerk, I would like to see a little bit more in the way of peaks on those biceps. For Austin, go to the front lat spread. And here I was criticizing the other guys on the during the invitational about where they were putting their hands. See, I try to keep it in my mind. You got to bring those hands out. Like Austin is doing, you don't want to bring your hands close to the belly button. As far as I'm concerned, a judge will look at that and think, that's not proper. Might be cheating a little bit. Might make your lats look more filled out because your arms are up. But I think they want to see the actual lats. And if you look at the actual lats, Austin, pretty Dorian-esque. Again, look at that right quad on poor Marx. What is he, in his 40s now? I think he's 42. Speaking in third person, yes, I'm 42. But I don't think that quad's gonna come back. Been trying to do... Here's the side chest. I've been trying to do single leg workouts, but it just nothing doing, guys. Nothing doing. Age creeps up on you. Plus, just not as good. There's no excuse. I mean, look at the big manly chest on Austin. Huge delts. When I was a little bit younger, I had some decent delts, but even those are, used to be able to make them dance. Like, what's his name? Lucas Osladell, I think. That's what makes his glutes dance. I could make my delt dance a little bit. Just does a little bit of a jig now. That's it. Used to be able to moonwalk with those delts. But anyway, I was never as big and gifted in that area as your invitational champion. I mean, that's incredible. Dominated from the side, by the way, in the invitational. Let's have a look at the back, because it was an interesting situation when you're watching the footage of Austin Rivera snapping his routine. He turned to the back and the camera got very dark. It got very dark. Not exactly sure what happened. Maybe he got under the light a little bit more and it just, the camera's lighting went down. So it kind of hid the condition. Because the thing of it is, I think Austin's back may be his strong point. The guy's legs, probably a strong point. Back, of course, your V-taper. Full of good points. Delts, big man's chest, things of that nature. But if I had to criticize, like again, I have to say, I do, I'd like to see you have a different stance on the wheels. I don't mind one back and one forward, but just maybe a little bowed it out a little bit more to bring those quads out. If everybody else is doing it, everybody else gonna jump off a bridge, are you? Well, if they live. Big, thick lat insertions. Well, anything about Marx? Ponytail looks okay. Go to the rear. You can see. It's very difficult to judge for yourself. I just find myself laughing. Just hysterically, and then we're not going to get into that again. Look at the difference of the traps. You can definitely see Austin's been doing his deadlifts, and Marx Max muscle needs to work on those babies. Definitely needs to work on the perhaps the volume. Now we're shutting it down as far as the 2, 3, 4, even 4, 5 rep sets. We're gonna ease into nice easy workouts from now on, here on in. And that's a shame. Go to the side tricep. This one here, this pose right here, maybe. I could see a couple people giving it to Marx Max because of the vacuum. But again, wasn't holding the vacuum very long. Just snapped it, and that's about it. You can see some remnants of a decent delt at one point on Marx Max. But anyway, no, just to give you young people advice about trying to show off and hot dog and lifting stuff. Can you lift that up over your head? Things of that nature. That can really take it out of you in the long term. I'm not saying I was doing that type of stuff, but could have been the abs and thigh. Especially beside Austin's big quads, Marx Max, little beef jerky, thin legs look like little deflated little balloons. I bet you if the wind picked up, my upper body wouldn't even move. My little legs would be like dandelion spores, just like a Hawaiian woman when they dance their arms, they go lula la 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 hula la 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 boona boona. That's how my legs would look, like a hula dancer's arms. Most muscular. Little bit of old man skin on my stomach this year, I noticed. Used to have a nice tight stomach, but in your, when you get even older, it gets worse. Seen a little bit of that on Alfonso. Hey man, I feel for you, buddy. I was gonna mention it during the invitational, but I figured I'd be kind. But since it's myself, hey, I'll be extra honest. You got old man wrinkle skin on your stomach. Unless you can go get some stuff done to that at a certain age, it's gonna catch everyone. I mean, yeah, there's some aliens, Dexter Jackson. There's some aliens, but for the most part, boom, hits the crab position, most muscular. Genetically speaking, and I remember when I was just a lad, I remember my grandfather who lifted weights back in the turn of the century, for goodness sakes. And we're not talking 90s to 2000. He had traps that would just bulge. He used to do posings. So I figured, probably a genetic thing, that I can pop those traps out, almost catching Austin in the trap area. That's how I used to train. I'd always select somebody that I was much weaker than to train with. And if I could almost match them on something, I would make fun of them. I can almost do as many pounds on the flies as you. You better catch up to me. If that makes sense to you guys. Good way to train. Austin, he is obviously dominating in this matchup. But little bonus for you guys. Let's have a look at these two dudes, myself and Austin, in a side-by-side video comparison. And see, station identification. Flap those wings. See if I can at least match Austin in posing abilities. Both go right to the front double. Hold the pose. Nice. Austin goes for another one. Marx is done. See, I like this for Austin. He poses again, holds the shot. Had to slow down my tape there. And we're not critiquing my small little beef jerky legs here. Just the posing technique. Front lat spread. Again, I have to say, Austin's arms, or his hands rather, exactly where they should be. You could see I almost caught myself and brought them out a little bit, but not Not enough. Turn to the side here. We both do a little hot dogging. Oh, you can almost catch my delt dancing there. A little bit. Stick the chest out from the side, and Austin already into the pose. And that's what I like. That's a good side chest. Anyway. Good, big, thick back for Austin. Had to slow his tape down here as I do a little bit of hot dogging. I think I hit an attempt of a Christmas tree. Got a little bit lower in the body fat this year. Hamstrings, Christmas tree. Maybe the lowest I've been. All right. Back double for both. Yes. Better lighting would have been nice, Austin. Hey. Gotta criticize what needs to be criticized. My lighting is perfect, but my back just isn't as good. So it denies your fans seeing that Christmas tree. You can even see a Christmas tree if you slow that down and look. So with proper lighting. And again, traps. Mountangs of traps. Must be from doing deadlifts. Maybe shrugs. Austin points to his tricep. I look at mine. Just try that. Just look at it. I just don't think the judges like when you point at a muscle. It's telling them, look at this piece. The judges are thinking, don't you worry, I'll look. Don't you worry. He points at it again. Basically, what I'm saying, if you point at that muscle, it better be a Ronnie Coleman bicep peak. Now, I could see Marcus Rule pointing at his delts. It's like, okay, they're the biggest I've ever seen. But unless, But anyway, Austin probably had the biggest triceps of the competition. Nice mouse muscular to end this one off. Side by side, posing with the champion. The champion himself, Austin Rivera. And of course, guys, it is an easy win for Austin Rivera. Otherwise, I would not do this matchup. I can't give myself an... When it's close, I obviously am going to go with the other guy. Somebody with more of an ego obviously is going to go with themselves, thinking, yeah, I'll forgive myself for having one leg half the size of the other and no separation. I'll forgive myself. Totally forgive myself for that. Anyway, guys, Austin Rivera, he is your one-time Marx Max Muscle Invitational Champion, and that's all anybody can win, unless they have some clever disguise or something and win it twice and then announce that they won it twice. Hit thumbs up on the video. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, have a great one.